Welcome back, I'm Captain Xavier, and this video is nothing more than a thinly veiled excuse for me to take some of my favorite and most advanced blasters to the range and plink! I may come back here and pontificate about them, but I might do all of my pontificating out on the range. So, to the range! 8 more hands! Right, I'm here on the range, and you might be able to see, maybe not, that there has in fact been some damage. A tree came down right across it. Luckily, I own a chainsaw and was able to clear it, and it didn't do too much damage to the netting, nothing I can't repair, so that's what I get for building in a forest. Anyway, I'm a plink. It is the 4th of July, so there will almost certainly be shelling. Be aware, there will be explosions in the background, almost certainly. For the plinking, I'm going to fire them in the order that I acquired them. So it'll be pew pew, FTL3, and then the momentum. I will fire them all single shot, then burst, and then full auto, and then I'll have some fun. So, first of all, startup noises. This one has that noise. I think it's currently on full auto, so let's adjust it to single. Max speed. Here we go. I love this thing. So good. I'm so glad I've got 2 of them. Next. After FTL3. Okay. Let's see. What mode is it on? Okay. Currently on single file. So, give it a go. FTL3. Here we go. Wait. Let's crank it all the way up. 100%. Got him. So glad I smuggled this out of Denmark. Finally, the momentum. I don't actually have this one on full power. Full power is terrifying and unnecessary for the range. Here we go. Worth every penny. So nice. So similarities and differences on the semi-auto. They're all single trigger. They don't have rev triggers. You pull the trigger and it fires. Other than that, some of them, the motors keep spinning a little bit longer after you fire the first one so that the next one is at full speed. Little differences like that, but for the most part, they're single trigger, pull the trigger and it fires. And really quite nice. All right, let's try burst mode. 3-round burst is what I got this set for. Let's see how it do. I need new bottles. Now with fresh bottles. Didn't match anything. It's close, just right between them, a little above them. Next. Before I get to the FTL3, full disclosure, I am not firing brand new darts. These are bin darts. These aren't even all the same darts. And these are precision tools. They don't like that. But I wanted to see how well they could actually handle bin darts, so, burst to the balls. Full disclosure, these are not brand new darts. These aren't even all the same darts. These are bin darts. And these are precision devices. They don't handle bin darts well, but I wanted to see how well they handled bin darts compared to each other. So, burst on the FTL3. Nicer. Nicer. I like it. I think the speed may have set itself back down. Nope. We're good. Next. Momentum. 3-round burst. I think it's the 2nd highest rate of fire. We'll see. Fabulous. I dig it. Right. Full auto. So for full auto, I'm going to do 2 magnums. One at the lowest rate of fire they can be set at, and one at the highest. And some of them, the low setting is kind of comical. Now you can also change the bursts to that same lower rate of fire. I think I had most of them set at the middle rate of fire they were capable of, rather than the max, just because. Here's the pew pew on its lowest rate, which is 4 darts a second. Yep. Let's try max rate. Train! Passenger, it'll be quick. Really wish those stopped in Vader. Anyway. Are you quite finished? Got 3 more. Right, max rate of fire. We'll talk about that in a bit. FTL3 lowest rate of fire, which I don't actually know what the lowest rate of fire is, but it's whatever this is. I like it. I like it. Let's try max rate. Much better. Much better. I like it. I like it. Right, lowest rate of fire on the momentum. Not too bad. Not too bad. Let's see what the max rate is. No. Right. So they all have a very low lower rate and a fairly high upper rate. The biggest difference, really, with the full autos is in the pew pew, because it doesn't have true full auto. With the momentum and the FTL3, if you hold the trigger down, it'll just keep going until the battery runs out. Train? They just don't care. Where the pew pew, on the other hand, full auto is actually just a really long burst, and you get to set what that burst is in the advanced settings, which involves putting in a cheat code that I don't actually remember. And then you can set what that is, and I think I set it to 15 because that's the size magazines I was expecting to have, but I now have 18s, and so it's not uncommon for the burst to end before the magazine is actually empty, if that makes any sense at all. Yeah, fascinating stuff. Fascinating stuff. You could set that burst to like 50 and then you'd almost always run out, but you know, there's a reason that option exists. So yeah. All right, now for some fun stuff. Right, we know that the pew pew cannot handle the Ezekiel drum, or at least my version. The newest version apparently can, or supposedly can. We'll find out, because Sergeant Deplorable is getting himself a pew pew and he's getting one of the new ones, so I may be terribly jealous. And unfortunately, apparently it's not possible to retrofit. Rude. Anyway, and we know that the momentum can. It was kind of designed to be able to, but I've never actually tried it in my my FTL3. So we gonna on full auto with full rate of fire. We don't need fresh bottles. Here we go. What? My battery getting low? Oh. Oh no, we jammed. Come on. No, don't be jammed. Of all the times, you jam on me now. I trusted you. All this time I've been saying I've never had a jam, and now it jams. It was gonna happen eventually. I like this one. I like the sound it makes when it fires. I like the recoil. I don't think it's actually a solenoid. I think it's a mechanical pusher, but it's got some haptic, some feedback. I like it. I like it. What do I want to plink with? I got bottles. Bottles need plinking. I have a plan. All right, I got 3 bottles, 3 blasters, 1 mag each, 1 shot per blaster, rotating, and we'll see how long, if I'm able to get all 3 bottles. So here we go. Oh, right under it. Right over it. Oh. Almost put a bottle back up. I'm undermining my own progress. I'm being shelled. I got him! Oh, yeah! Oh. Last shot for each one. Oh, last shot, come on, come on. Oh, between it and the tree. All right, gonna finish them off. Magnum. I got him. Train? A lot of passenger trains today. Sounds like another one. Maybe just a bit more plinking. All right, final bit of fun. I've got 5 darts in each. They're at their max FPS and single fire, and I'm gonna try to hit as many pans as possible. I'm gonna start with 25, aim for the 50, aim for the 75. If I hit it, I'll move on to the next one. If I don't, then I'll keep trying. So 25, I'll take it a little bit high. 50, I got it. So I managed to get the 50 on the 4th shot. I'll take it. Try the FTL3. Yep, 50. Oh, a little high. There it is, 75. There's my last shot. Yep. Couldn't quite get the 75, but I did get the 50. Momentum at highest rate. This thing is terrifying. I don't know if I hit it. I couldn't hear it over the gun. I don't think I did, though, but I got real close. Any of them going to be able to hit it, it's going to be this one. This thing is designed for that. It screams. It scares me. All right, what else do I want to talk about? Because I don't want to go back to the workbench. It's too warm in there. There's a nice breeze out here. Interfaces. Let's talk about the interfaces real quick. We'll start with the Pew Pew. So as you know, the Pew Pew has a little screen and a little hat that allows you to cycle through. Oh, hold up. Come on. So the Pew Pew, as you probably know, you might not know if you're new here, has a little screen and a hat switch that lets you navigate through and change all your settings however you want. There is an advanced mode that you enter a code up, down, left, or whatever. I don't remember what exactly it is. And you'll go into the advanced settings, and then you can change more complex things. But things like your burst, your FPS, all of that can be changed here. For easily switching between modes on the fly, because you don't want to have to go into the mode, the screen when you're on the field. You want to be able to do it hypothetically without looking. If you hold the mode up, the toggle will go away, and now if you hold forward, it will switch between auto, semi, burst, and whatever settings you had set is what it will be at. But this way you can have the blaster in your hand and just with your thumb push forward and switch modes. And the light in the back changes color depending on what mode it's in. So it's easy to tell at a glance which one you're in and easy to switch. And then you're good to go. Now I'm on full auto, which is cool. Let's take a look at the next one. The FTL3 also has a screen, but it's on the top, and it's controlled by this little rotating thing, which you push to select a setting, and then you use the dial to make your changes. Go back here, rotate through the menu by rotating it. If we're in burst, we can now change what burst it is. 1, 2, 3, full. Those are your options. Min, spin, stuff like that. Your most common settings. There are more settings for it, but that's the easiest way to set those. And then, of course, there is also the easy way to switch. There's 3 buttons on either side. It is ambidextrous. The rear one, when it beeps, puts you in full auto, 2-round burst, and semi. Pretty snazzy. Pretty snazzy. Not quite reachable without taking your hand off of the main position, though you could also use your other hand, but still very convenient. The Momentum does not have a screen. Instead, it has a series of LEDs that you navigate through, and then it's got a little side-to-side switch here, push and side-to-side. The 3 lights, when it's in what's called your home screen, which is what we're currently in. I'll try to actually center this. First one, green one, means that it's on. If it's red, go red. If red, it's off. Pulling the trigger does nothing. Turn the hat, it'll turn it back on. It'll make its sound up. Middle one will tell you what mode you're in, whether you're in semi-auto, burst, or full. Semi is a green blink. This one will tell you what your burst is set at. It's currently 2 or 3 because it's 3, blinking 3 times. If we go here, it's just blue and just blinks quickly because that's full auto, which is fabulous. And then this is actually your battery indicator, and it's starting to get low. This thing eats through batteries. Again, getting off screen. If we push it in, we can then go to our various modes. This first setting is our FPS. So there's lowest. Oh, let's go to single auto. Low. Higher. Higher. Good Lord. Oh God, why? I'm going to go back to a lower one so it's less noisy. Middle one will set your burst. So currently that's 2-round burst, 3-round burst, 4-round burst, 5-round burst. I like 3. 3. And then this is your rate of fire. So we can go all the way down to blue, which is, we go to full auto. And there you go, that's max. I like that one. Push it again, goes back to your home screen. And then it does in fact have a selector switch between semi, burst, and full auto. So it has the easiest to probably switch between semi, burst, and full auto. It's obviously meant for right-handed people, to which I object, but it's not that hard with your lefty. I can still reach it. Anyway, that's the difference in the interfaces. As far as power, this one is by far the most powerful because it's dual stage. It's got 4 brushless motors in it. The max, it tops out at 200, 205. think I've heard up to 215 with the right darts and, you know, tailwind. Mid-size form factor as compared to the Pew Pew, which is absolutely tiny. I mean, it's ridiculous how small the Pew Pew is. It's absolutely amazing what they're able to get into this thing. It caps out a little bit higher, or a little bit lower rather, around the 160, I think, at max, roughly. Might be a little lower than that. Rate of fire is comparable though. So that's pretty cool. This one is by far the largest. It's considerably larger. It's definitely more of a full-on submachine gun as opposed to an auto pistol. If you look at the size of how much difference that is. It's also by far the most customizable because the files for the FTL3 are open source now. So you can print your own different, people have created different barrels and shrouds and magwells and all sorts of other bits for it. So if you really want to customize it, this one has the most options. The other ones, the files, as far as I know, are still proprietary, I think. And so they also haven't been around as long. And so there aren't as many options for them. That's one of the advantages of a blaster being around for longer. Eventually people are going to develop stuff for it. So they all have their pros and their cons. For accuracy, I would argue I think the FTL3 has shown to be the most accurate, certainly the most consistent. The Pew Pew is also, I mean, they're all very accurate. When I say, you know, it's the most accurate, all of them were missing those tiny bottles at 25 feet by millimeters. It's ridiculous how accurate these all are, and it's really, really impressive. But if I had to choose the one that I feel was the most accurate from plinking today, this one I would say is the most consistent. It's also, they're all just a joy to shoot, and I use them very, very differently. This one I would use as a primary, possibly in something like an HVZ, certainly in my arena. Also, I would be happy to use this in a tournament. The Momentum was absolutely designed and intended for competitive play, 5v5 stuff. It simply was meant for the high FPS. That is entirely what it's designed around. When I did my review, I mentioned that I was having some issues at the lower FPS, and an absolute shout out and a testament to Out of Darts' customer service. Not 3 days after I posted that video, Out of Darts and his chief engineer showed up at my house and helped me troubleshoot it. Now they were coming here for a Nerf war that I was hosting, but still, they came, they brought their Momentums, we tested them, they flashed the software up to the newer version, we did some tests, tried some different muzzles, tried some different things, and the flashing of the firmware improved the second lowest setting. But the lowest FPS setting is still very inaccurate, but it turns out that was the same on Greg's, the Out of Darts' engineer. His also was just as inaccurate at the lower settings, and it turns out after talking to him, Eli Wu, the man who designed this, did not intend to have those lower FPSs. Those were added in at the request of Out of Darts because they knew some people were going to want to be able to use these in, low FPS rounds. So he added the software to be able to run it at that lower FPS, but it wasn't designed for it, and it doesn't work well. You can't just lower the wheels and expect it to perform the same as it does at the high levels when it was designed for the high levels. If it had been designed for 90 FPS, you would expect it to be accurate at FPS, but it was designed for 200 FPS. And so just adding the code to let it go at 90, it doesn't work at that. It's not supposed to. Don't do it. Get a stock blaster if you want to shoot 90 FPS. But it shoots absolute lasers at 200. So that's pretty cool, and I'm looking forward to doing some competitive play finally. Now that I've built my own field for it, and we've got a club going up in northern Washington, and there's clubs down in Oregon, and I may actually get some competitive play in, and that would be fun. The Pew Pew, I have used it in Nerf wars. I have used it in the arenas. Where it gets its most use is in HVZ, where I use it as my sidearms. When my primary runs out and I'm getting rushed by the horde, being able to pull 1 or 2 semi-automatic magazine-fed blasters and be able to just go zip, 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 and take on an entire horde is really cool. When I was at UMBC earlier this summer, myself and Sergeant Spectre we were holding a point, me with 2 pew-pews, him with 1 pew-pews, like 15, 20 zombies came around the corner and rushed us, and we just calmly plinked all 20 of them, and there were several just going, what is that? How? And it's pew-pews. They're just amazing. But you have to use your tool for the right thing, you know. Yeah. So there's my thoughts on the FDL versus the pew-pew versus the Momentum. They are all awesome. They are all worth the money. Some of them are they're all really hard to get because they're handmade precision items these days. The biggest takeaway I got from today is ammo matters. Precision blasters like these, they need fresh darts. You cannot use bin darts in them and expect them to perform at their absolute best. And anytime I've actually used like the Pew Pew and HVZ, since I'm traveling, I buy the ammo when I get there, so it's always brand new, and so I have far fewer issues than when I'm using chewed up bin darts. So, yeah, fun times. All right, I'm gonna go get something to drink, something to eat, maybe take a shower and prepare for the bombardment that will be coming this evening. Thanks for watching.